Okay, good morning. First of all, again, I want to thank everyone for their prayers and their continued prayers and the good thoughts we're sending to our family, our involved family, and obviously our officer. He is out of surgery. He is stable. He's still critical. They've been able to control the bleeding, all the bleeding that he had, multiple areas where he was bleeding, and despite the very violent crash that he's had, he's holding on. He's not out of the woods. There's still concern about a head injury, obviously, and when you have so many internal injuries, you got to just see what the next 24, 48, 72 hours will bring. He's currently in CAT scan, so they can double check all the work that's already been done by trauma surgeons, and then they will move him up to the ICU. His family remains here with his extended Houston Police Department family. As you all know, the individual that caused this violent crash with our officer's body was arrested by members of the Houston Police Department DWI Task Force, and he's been charged. I want to just thank, first of all, the District Attorney's Office, really, District Attorney Kim Ogg and her team, Deputy District Attorney Tier, who is part of the Vehicular Crimes Division, and actually was at the scene and has been working hand in hand with our investigators to make sure that we do everything we need to do to seek justice for our HPD family. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the DA's office, to DA Ogg, to talk a little bit about the prosecution, then we'll open it up to any questions.
Chief, thank you. Our prayers are with our HPD families and with, in specific, Officer Garcia's family. You know, Houston is a driving city, and it often means that Houstonians take their cars for granted. Cars can be deadly weapons when they're used negligently, recklessly, or intentionally as weapons, and they can cause great damage, as much as a gun or a knife. We're prepared to wait for the results of the toxicology test before we announce specifically what the facts of the case, the underlying facts may be. But I'll tell you that our office is dedicated to protecting people from reckless drivers, intoxicated or otherwise. Anybody who would blow through police officers with cars and lights flashing at the scene of a crime, whether it's on a freeway or it's in front of your house, we expect the public to respect that as a crime scene and to take care not to further injure our first responders. So we're going to take a hard line on this, and we'll take a look at the facts of this case specifically before explaining exactly what he's going to be charged with. And I think he is charged right now with intoxication, with intoxication, assault public servant. But what type of intoxication remains to be seen. So that's really not the point. The point is that anybody driving this recklessly in Houston who causes this kind of damage is going to be arrested and prosecuted. So let's not take our cars for granted. Let's not take driving it's a privilege, it's not a right. And let's watch out for our brother and sister Houstonians on the road, for goodness sake. This was really a needless tragedy. And our prayers are with Officer Garcia, and we hope for a speedy recovery. Sean, do you have anything to say about the facts of the case?
I don't.
We'll release those details about the investigation as they become available. Thank you.
I don't know if we're prepared to do that.
I'm prepared to do it. Okay. What's his name? He's been charged.
Mr. Pinkerton, James Pinkerton, I believe.
Why don't you tell him? Go ahead. That way I don't have to repeat it.
I actually have to find out his name.
Hold on. Let's the helicopter.
He's charged.
He's charged.
Wait for this check now.
Okay, hang on.
Okay, I think that's better.
The defendant's name is Robert Zimmerman.
Can you spell it, please?
Zimmeran. Robert is the common spelling.
And he has not been officially charged.
He has been officially charged with intoxication assault of a public servant.
Let him know his age and his phone.
His date of birth, he was born in 1939. He is a 79-year-old individual.
Have we looked up his criminal history?
We have. He does not have any criminal history here in Harris County, other than, I believe, some traffic tickets.
Do we know if he's Hispanic, white, Latino?
I believe he is a white male. He does not in Harris County.
In other parts he has?
We're not certain. It doesn't appear to be at this moment, but we're still investigating.
Do we know, is he on his way home? Do we know any details about what?
We have conflicting statements regarding his whereabouts prior to this, and so when we ascertain the actual facts, we'll disclose it.
Was he the only individual in the vehicle?
He was the only individual in the car at the time. We are still in the process of inventorying the car. We've executed a number of search warrants already, and we will do more. And until we get the returns on those with the tests, we're not prepared to release that.
Can you give us a little better idea of who's where in terms of how far was the officer with the...
That's part of the investigation.
Not at this time.
And I think you said earlier that he was from an immigrant family. Was he an immigrant? Was he born in Mexico?
I believe he was born here, but his family immigrated from Michoacan, Mexico.
Oh, or can you get an update on the family, like how they're doing post-surgery now that they're here?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you just get an update on the family? You've been talking with them, how they're doing now that he's post-surgery?
They're real concerned, like we all are, because anytime you have this kind of traumatic multiple injuries that are, any one of those injuries by themselves are very serious, but when you add multiple different organs and systems that are being impacted, then you add that head injury, you just don't know what's going to happen with a head injury for sometimes days and sometimes even weeks. The problem right now is that he's been sedated, obviously, for his surgery, medicated, the anesthesia, and so he's never regained conscience. So we're not sure what the extent is, and that's the area that the doctors are most, and the surgeons or neurosurgeons most worried about right now in the family. But they are extremely grateful for the outpouring of support. We showed them the Twitter feed where so many members of our community are tweeting good thoughts and prayers and lifting him up, and that just means the world to that family. So again, we thank everyone for the continued prayers and the support, and we're going to be here for the long haul. Sí, en español allá o aquí. Bueno, estoy muy agradecido que el oficial García ha salido de la cirugía, ya terminaron toda su cirugía. Sigue muy grave, está en una condición muy grave, pero lo movieron para la unidad de intensive care de aquí, cuidado intensivo. La familia está muy agradecida que tantas personas están orando por él, están muy agradecidos de todos los doctores que han trabajado para salvar la vida de su hijo. Pero acuérdense que cuando tenemos un daño tan complicado con el cerebro, no vamos a saber por lo menos 24, 48, 72 horas qué va a pasar con este oficial. Así que es muy importante que sigan orando por él. Estoy muy agradecida de la fiscal Kim Ogg y de su asistente fiscal aquí, el señor Tier, que ha estado con nosotros el primer momento que esta investigación empezó. El sospechoso sí ha estado cargado con lo que se dice intoxication, asalto intoxicado con su vehículo contra el oficial. No importa lo que ocurrió entonces, si está intoxicado o no, acuérdese, si usted está manejando de una manera que es peligrosa y hace un daño así como han hecho hoy, eso es una felonía, y estoy muy seguro que con esta fiscal y este señor van a tratar con unas cargas muy serias contra este sospechoso.
¿Estaba ebrio este hombre?
Está abajo, pensamos que está bajo la influencia de algunas drogas, pero acuérdese, aunque no esté bajo la influencia de la droga, cuando oficiales están parados en la carretera con sus patrullas, sus luces andando, usted los ve, en vez de parar o de andar con precaución, entra a una escena a 50, 60 millas por hora y sabe que el oficial está ahí fuera de su patrulla, lo atropella, van a hacer cargas muy serias, son felonías, y yo pienso que van a ir a la prisión. Okay, gracias todo el mundo.
Chief, could you just clarify?
We probably will not give an update for the rest of the day. You can assume that if you don't hear from us, from the Houston Police Department or the hospital, that Officer Garcia's condition continues to be critical but stable. His vitals are stable right now. His pressure in his head is stable right now. And so unless you hear back from us, no news will be good news. And good news in terms of he has not taken a turn for the worse. So where we started this morning, I can just tell you that I thought we'd be having a much different press conference, and I'm grateful that as of right now we're full of hope, but we're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. And we also need to pray not just for his life, but there's a difference between being alive and living. And we want to pray for not only that he lives, but that he has a quality of life that a 24-year-old that's given himself to public service should be able to pursue, and that is healthy with all his faculties, obviously, and hopefully so he can resume his career at some point. Okay? Thank you all very much.